Grandmother, it's me, Anastasia.
You are an outfit repeater.
So I am obviously not a vintage girly, but I do have a huge appreciation for vintage styles, and their influence has definitely crept into my wardrobe over the years. So for this next installation of the Style Versus series, I am going to be comparing a modern style of dressing with a vaguely vintage style of dressing from within my own wardrobe. The vintage inspired styles are not going to be made up with actual vintage clothing. I really don't have much unless you include like 80s and 90s in vintage, but I want to try to create a more vaguely vintage look that leans more late 40s into early 60s. Yeah, what years do you consider to be vintage when it comes to clothing? Like, I guess technically 80s and 90s is kind of vintage, and I know I've referred to it as that in the past, but I wouldn't call dressing 90s a vintage style of dressing. Oh, and now the sun has come back, okay. Filming on partly cloudy days is like such a huge gamble with the lighting. All right, let's go. As always, round one is the most casual, and this is my modern outfit. I know the lace does not feel that casual, but hear me out. I wanted to compare outfits that both had jeans for the first round, and right now, sheer and lace things like this are super on trend. I actually made this bodysuit myself a couple months ago, so it might be a little bit more dressed up than I would usually go for this round, but I wanted to pull in anything trendy that I have in my wardrobe where I can, and then I went with the red sneakers that kind of dresses it down a little bit more. Like, the bottom half is very casual. I mean, ripped baggy jeans and sneakers doesn't get too much more casual than that unless you want to go for sweatpants, and I don't. So, and I gotta say, I actually really do like this. I don't know that I would ever feel confident enough to wear this without like a full tank top underneath. I just don't have a white camisole, so I put a white sports bra over my regular bra. But I think if I had a full length white camisole, I would wear that under the bodysuit, just because this feels a little bit like I just can't think of a scenario in my real day-to-day life where this would be appropriate. I actually do really like all the sheer and lace stuff that we're seeing trending right now, but I don't like when people wear it without something underneath, like with just their nipples out, because I don't want to see your nipples. Guys, that includes you. I don't want to see anybody's nipples. Farm animals, you're not off the hook either. Put them teats away, okay? Gross. So I'm loving the sheer and the lace things. I just think we all need something under them. Please at least wear undergarments. Oh, for the love of God, please wear undergarments. Yeah, make this a full-length cami, and I definitely would wear this. And maybe I'd put on a leather jacket over it. Let me try that. No, the whites are clashing. It's okay. Oh, that's better. Okay. And because it is still springtime and a little bit chilly in the mornings and the evenings, I think a cropped moto jacket like this goes really well with denim and lace. Yeah, I really like this. Hi, so I'm filming the vintage half of this video on a different day. I just wanted to do my hair and makeup differently. Half of what makes an outfit look vintage really is the hair and makeup, so it's not great, but I think it helps just to have my hair curled. I set it overnight and then went with a classic red lip. So it's not really period accurate to any particular time, but I think it helps a little bit. So for my most casual vintage leaning outfit, these are all modern pieces, but I think together the overall look is vaguely vintage, so I couldn't not use my saddle shoes for at least one of these outfits. And if you look on Pinterest, you will find plenty of photos of young women wearing jeans and their saddle shoes looking like they're having a grand old time, so I wanted to kind of emulate that with this first outfit. And then I feel like I see high neck knit tops like this in a lot of older vintage photos, and then the belt was kind of a last minute addition, but I actually really like it. In some of the photos you do see the women wearing belts with their jeans, and I think that again takes it in that more vintage direction. I'm really loving the dark brown leather with the dark wash jeans. I really am loving that color combination. So other than the saddle shoes, which are quite costumey and very uncomfortable, none of these individual pieces are explicitly vintage, but taken in combination, I think it does create a rather vintage type of style. I always forget that I can just like cuff my jeans and suddenly they're capris. You don't need to buy more pants to have capris. My first instinct was like, I don't know if I would wear this, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. And then maybe just add a cardigan. Yeah, that's perfect. I look like a little Bobby Soxer. Cute. Round 2, we are a little bit more dressed up, a little bit more put together. I like to think of this as an outfit for a coffee date or something similar. And this still feels very casual, but just like with round 1, how I wanted to compare 2 outfits using jeans, for this one I want to compare 2 outfits using a plaid skirt. And longer length skirts have been having a moment for quite a while now. I'm a big fan of them personally, and I just think it's so cute paired with this little white top. You guys have seen this before in the spring outfits video, but this time I went with my chunky kind of platform black strappy sandals instead because I already used my red sneakers in the last round. I think the chunky sandal brings a different vibe to it, and I do also want to try adding a cardigan, but I'm not sure which one. So I personally think I like the green cardigan the most, although it's just a little bit too short, but this bright pink one feels more emblematic of modern styles. Like maximalism and dopamine dressing with like crazy patterns and bright colors is still going very strong. Can't say I'm a big fan, but this is one of my brightest, most colorful items. So I think this with the long plaid skirt and the chunky platform sandal really creates a very current look. And I think the only thing I would change is me personally, I'd go with a different cardigan, mostly because of the length of it. I just wish it were like cropped or something. But I see a lot of people wearing stuff baggier. I'm not huge on baggy things, but it is comfortable. I will give them that. And here is my vintage version of a coffee date outfit. And this is really freaking cute, guys. I didn't expect to like it this much. It does feel a little bit young, a little bit like a student, very academic looking.
But gee dang it, don't I like it.
I've actually been on the fence about this blouse as to whether or not I would keep it, but I am loving it paired with this skirt. This is one of my absolute favorite skirts. And then I have these little, I guess you could call them Oxfords, like this little lace-up shoe, a real leather shoe that I thrifted for $3. Such a steal. And I just love the shape of the heel. Like it's different than most modern shoes that you see. I don't know, guys, I just feel really cute in this. I like this a lot. I want to try a jacket with it though. Color-wise, I think this goes, but I'm not sure if the silhouette is right. It feels a little off to me. I don't think I would go with this. The fitted cardigan is a little bit better. The slightly cropped, well, it's not really that cropped, but the fit is a little bit better with the overall shape and silhouette of this. Again, though, it does feel very young. This very much feels like a student outfit. Maybe if I like had my hair up in a more mature hairstyle, but I don't like wearing my hair up. And you know what? I could actually swap in the mock neck black top that I had in the first outfit with this, and I could wear this ivory blouse with the jeans from the first outfit. Do I just have a vintage capsule wardrobe in my wardrobe and didn't know it this whole time? And for our final round, I try to create an outfit that is a little bit more formal and put together. Maybe not necessarily formal, but something that you could wear for a nice date out in the evening, so slightly elevated from round 2. And for this video particularly, I thought I would compare outfits using the little black dress formula. Such an easy go-to and something that is relatively timeless. What mostly changes is the silhouette and the details. So for my modern option, I don't know that anything I'm wearing is necessarily trendy at the moment, but I feel like the silhouette and the look overall is a little bit more modern. This dress and this shawl I have combined before in kind of a whimsy goth type of look, and then I went with some strappy heels, and so overall it's very simple, but I just love the richness of the black velvet with this like eggplant color. It's very Rowena. I'm on season 10 of Supernatural right now and I am obsessed with her. And we have a fun little leg slit in the back. The only thing with wearing velvet is then the entire day that I'm wearing it, I'm just like feeling the fabric. I'm very like tactile. I just need to feel things. And for our very last outfit of the very last round, sticking with a slightly formal little black dress outfit, this is what I chose. I don't know exactly what decade I would place this dress in, but there's something about it that does just feel a little bit older than other black dresses that I have. Maybe not the sleeves. Ooh, should I just take off the sleeves? Yeah, I might alter that and just remove the sleeves. So like with the other items, nothing about this dress is explicitly vintage. I feel like the straight up and down silhouette at first glance gives me 90s, but then I guess it could be a little bit 90s does 20s. Definitely giving me more 20s with the fringe at the bottom, the lace and the fringe. I just think that is such a fun detail. And since this is a little bit more of a formal look, I went with my T-strap heels. And then I feel like pearls are kind of a go-to vintage outfit staple. Oh, I just love the fringe at the bottom. It's so fun. Yeah, I think I will be taking the sleeves off of this. I just like it better without them. It's a little bit more sophisticated. So I'm just gonna say it's like a vaguely 20s kind of look, and let's just lean into the 20s inspired glamour a little bit more. And let's go with this little shawl for outerwear. Do I want to add gloves though? Oh, this is just full Hollywood glam now, but it is getting costumey, so maybe not with the gloves.
Grandmother, it's me, Anastasia.
Outerwear aside though, I'm really liking how simple it is, but it gives just a little bit of flair in the details. So which style did you guys like more? I have to say, I was really digging the vintage inspired outfits more than I expected to. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna like start dressing vintage on the daily, but I think I might have to take another look at my wardrobe and see what slightly vintage items I have that I can pull together outfits with, because I think I just fell back in love with that style. So that was a bit unexpected, and that is why I do these types of videos and style experiments and challenges. I pretty much always learn something new, either about my wardrobe or my own personal style. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave a chicken emoji down in the comments. I don't know, chickens are just funny, wonderful little creatures, and they taste good too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Oh, I just broke one of my fringes. Farts. In the